The young people, will be the ones that end up still fucking suffering. There'll be another shooting next week and another beating and all this black misleadership class. Our report, the Malcolm X Grassroots Movement, that most major black organizations that we sent it to refused to even put it out there.
You know why?
Yeah, because of our politics as an organization and because
they don't want to think you've done something correct. Like you actually have real statistics.
Where did you guys scrape the data from?
From the all police records.
I don't know the all.
But the FBI database?
You go to LexisNexis and you do a search literally for like police records, and then you start breaking that down.
So news reports, like any news report?
No, police reports. Police still have to report if there's a shooting. They can't, you can't hide it. So that's where you get the actual.
Do they have to report if there's a shooting, or do they have to report if there's like somebody killed in it?
Yeah, they have to report everything up until what then happens with the case. Because the case ends up leaving what police report, right? Because that goes to whether the prosecution wants to pursue charges. It's not the police that pursue charges.
Right.
So you get the reporting from the police records, as well as then doing the subsequent research around news reporting. So once police fire a gun, that shit is on the record. It's completely recorded, and that's how our researchers got that information.
Recorded like in a police report that was sent to media somewhere.
No, okay.
In a police record.
Anytime police discharge a weapon, they have to record that on a police record that is then deemed public information. Mm-hmm. Once it's public information, it's within the database. Mm-hmm. And so the researcher, Arlene, and then Kali Yakuno, what they did is they started doing LexisNexis research on police-involved shootings.
Right, not just murder.
And then from there they started tracking like the news reports, and then from there you can then find the families, and then we began to contact the families, and then the lawyers started sending information on the cases, whether the case got, like no charges, because 95% of the cases the police officer's not even charged.
Right.
But police-involved shootings, does it detail that someone was killed?
Well, if the person dies, they have to put that it died, and then you look at the autopsy reports from the coroner's office that are also public information.
So, for instance, like I know in Florida they had an issue where the police marked. They did this weird thing where they said like someone's basically brain overheated. It was this weird thing to like mark when someone dies in custody.
Right.
But it's not necessary. But it doesn't necessarily show up because.
Yeah.
So what I'm
so
trying
there
to
were
get to
those
is like,
cases, but we didn't put them in the not the brain case, but the cases where you would see there was a shooting, but you don't necessarily know the outcome.
Okay.
In smaller municipalities, that could maybe sweep a little bit or do something like, oh, his brain overheated, or like Eric Garner, what they're trying to do in New York, right?
Right.
Like if the autopsy didn't show he was murdered, not murdered, asphyxiated, but the police can actually say, well, he didn't die from the chokehold. So the only cases we reported were the ones that we can trace all the information. There were a lot of cases that we thought were like shootings, but we couldn't back it up with the little bit of information, so we didn't use that within the report.
And what years did you guys do?
Just 2012.
And in 2012 there were like 400. I think it was
313.
Okay.
That we could verify.
Right.
313.
Yeah.
But isn't that less than one every 28 hours?
No, because the reason then the following year, Kali updated the report to call Operation Ghetto Storm, and added in I don't know how he got to the number, but if you read the report, the Operation Ghetto Storm report, Arlene and Kali talk about how they got to that number. Because at first when we put it out, we had every 40 hours, but they changed a bit of the methodology or something that they did, made it every 28 hours. And in the updated report of 2013, it shows that shift from every 40 hours to every 28 hours.
Because currently there's no federal requirement
To report.
for law enforcement to report.
Yeah, and that's a huge
But even all
problem.
the chiefs know.
Yeah.
how many people that get.
And that's one of the recommendations that comes out of the report.